Welcome. This is KLA Cloud the Wanderer. And on a Thursday, I'm here with Camille Neo-Clark. She's a OCB Figure Pro. Yeah, Camille has been started bodybuilding like a year and a half. Am I correct?
Yeah, a year and a
Yeah.
half ago. Yeah.
Yeah. She's here to tell her story, how she got into fitness and other things as we go along. So welcome. How you been?
Oh, not too bad. I'm getting ready for my pro debut, aiming for June. So I'm in the thick of prep right now, but I'm glad that it's been nice and warm out and giving a little bit more motivation to go outside and do some cardio instead of being locked in on the Stairmaster all the time. So I'm doing pretty well right now with the
Yeah.
change of season and being in a better mindset.
Yeah, I don't know where you're at, but I'm in New York and city, and the weather been bipolar and stuff.
Oh
It's
yeah.
next minute it's hot, next minute it's cold, and you know, it's like
Yeah,
nine. It was like no,
I'm
I was
down in
saying
New
it's 90
Jersey.
degrees. Oh, you're in New Jersey?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
90
okay.
degrees today. Yeah, so not too far from you. It's
Yeah,
been brutal, and I know out in New York it's been I know with all the cars going by, the emissions, and it's just like extra heat. And we have the same thing in New Jersey too, but it's
yeah,
been so hot.
yeah. New Jersey don't seem like a state.
No.
It just I mean, yeah, I mean, it's right here, it's right there. Just got to take the bridge, the terminal, and stuff. But it's some places it's really far. It's like 2 hours from the city, but it's almost like you going upstate or something like that. I swear, like I don't know, but that's just me.
Yeah, I just moved down to Jersey from Massachusetts almost a year ago now, so I'm still getting
Yeah,
used to the area, but honestly, you're right on the money there. Like no matter where you have to go in New Jersey, I feel like you're traveling for at least an hour, and it does take me about an hour and a half to get into New York City. I'm down in Lawrence, like close to the Princeton area, but I travel up to Linden, which isn't too far from Newark, so I'm right by the city all the time. And I love taking the train in because it's only an hour and a half, and you don't have to deal with the traffic. But the train might get canceled. But
mhm. Yeah, yeah. I think I took like what the New York, no, the New Jersey Transit to
Mhm.
bus to take me to certain places. But anyway, like how did you start bodybuilding? Like what got you inspired?
So truthfully, one of my coworkers had actually made the recommendation to me to look into doing a bodybuilding competition. I had started getting really into fitness back in the very end of 2023 and really started taking it seriously in 2024. And one of my coworkers, her name is Mary Lou, she was just like, Cam, you need to compete, look into it, you should really do it. And I was getting ready to get married, so I didn't want to start going into a prep and risking my wedding dress not fitting and all the wedding planning and not having time for it. So after I got married in October of 2024, I started looking for a coach and started more of a body recomposition phase with my first coach that I was with in January of 2025. And then when I moved down to New Jersey, I found the gym Nonstop Fitness and met the owner David, who's now my coach, and really started diving into prep for a show in October for my figure debut.
Okay, all right. Like how many shows? How many shows you been doing so far? Like
So I've done two shows. I
okay.
got my pro card in my very first show in the OCB Cape Cod. I
Yeah.
won the debut class, the novice class, and the open class. And luckily, it was a pro qualifier with the amount of competitors there. And Definitely wasn't expecting it whatsoever. I was really going into bodybuilding in my first competition just wanting to have fun. And then after that show, my coach was like, "Do you want to give a shot with the WNBF for a show that was in White Plains?" I think it was like 3 weeks after the OCB show. And one of the things was the poses were different for side pose. And I was definitely a little bit more nervous for going into that show, just not um, really practicing the poses before since I focused so much on OCB. But I did come in second for that open category there. And I'm looking forward to doing another WNBF show at some point this year and trying to go for my pro card with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I see you with this gentleman here. I
Hmm.
forget his name, but
Yeah,
yeah, I know
David.
he coach yeah, he coaches OCB competitors and stuff, like the pros. And yeah, what's it like coaching under him?
Oh, he is definitely an awesome coach. I've really started to lean on him more and being a lot more open, especially after ending my first prep. I definitely had a difficult time going into a reverse and truly ate quite a bit after and kind of fell off from November to January when it came to going to the gym, making sure I was doing my cardio and eating on plan. And luckily, he was able to pull me back into the mindset there. And he has so many competitors that he trains, but he really focuses in on making sure that he communicates with everyone. And I check in with him twice a week. And I mean, I see him almost every day since I go to his gym too. So it's really nice having a coach that is present and communicative as long as you're communicative back with him. Um, so he's great. I love my coach.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I seen like some of your pictures on you on in prep, you
Hmm.
know. Yeah, so yeah, like what did your husband say when you started bodybuilding? Did he had what did he was he like he ain't understand it, or I don't know.
So luckily, my husband and I, we actually started going to the gym together when we started, or when I started getting back into fitness in 2024, and we're both washed up college athletes. We wanted to try and get back into fitness, and when I brought up bodybuilding, he was like, go for it. He is very much someone that pushes me to do the things that I want to achieve, and he's definitely been quite a bit of help, especially when it comes to he, like meal prepping and between work and sometimes like I'm pulling 10 to 11-hour days with work, and I'm like, is there any way you can throw my chicken breast into the crock pot or into the oven for me? And he's been super helpful with that, and also understanding the time that it takes during prep. And we often sometimes only see each other in the morning when we're going to the gym together, and then after work I have to go back out for cardio, so we might only get a half an hour with each other at the end of the day before going to bed. And he's very understanding of that. So I'm very lucky to have a supportive husband there.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I mean, because I've heard stories about some people they're in like relationships and it doesn't really work out because they're
Mhm.
bodybuilding and the other person they may not understand it. So yeah, would he want to be do like compete himself?
I have asked him before, and he looks at me. He's like, absolutely not. He
Yeah.
definitely like sees the the like amount of work you have to put in, and I'm always like, come on, just do like 10 minutes of cardio. And he's built up doing cardio, but he's seen me like, especially during push weeks and stuff, where I'm either on the elliptical or the stairmaster for almost 2 hours. And he's like, yeah, I don't want to do that. And he sees the diet, and like he follows his own type of meal plan, but I don't think he has any desire right now to go into a prep and do bodybuilding, but he doesn't mean he never will. Maybe one day I'll convince him.
Yeah. Outside of your husband, like, do you have like family members, like they've been to your shows or they know that you was competing?
Yeah, my mom and my sister went to my shows for what for Cape Cod. My family lives up in Massachusetts for the most part, and my in-laws also came out to the show as well, and drove up to Massachusetts. They actually live in New York, but they are supportive. My mom sometimes is like, I don't know how you do it. And don't get me wrong, I have gotten some pushback from other family members that are like, are you going to do this forever? And I'm like, I mean, I love it. I foresee myself sticking with it right now. And I want to continue doing it until like I feel like I need to step back from it, but I don't foresee that being anytime soon. But I will say, like, throughout prep and like sending photos, like you have to see this transition. I like doing comparison photos to just see the progress, because sometimes like you'd be like, I feel like I'm not making the progress, and taking those photos are really helpful, and they've gotten a little spooked here and there, but for the most part they are supportive.
Okay. Like for you, like how, like, like walk me to the first time you was on stage. Like, what was your reaction, like in front of people, and just even like competing with other competitors? With like, what was that like for you?
So for my first show, I honestly felt really at peace, and I was excited to go out there. And I actually had been talking to a few of the other girls that I was competing with, and some other girls from different divisions, just from find like people finding each other on Instagram with the promoter page and everything. And so I felt like it was just like an at peace moment. And when you're back there with other people who get it and making those connections, it's just like a whole different feeling that I've never experienced before. Now, for the novice portion, I was definitely nervous, felt a little shaky in my boots, or in my heels rather. But after the novice and going or debut and then going into novice, I'm sorry, the novice one wasn't too bad, and then for the open, like I felt like I was nailing everything and was just having so much fun. And I feel like already going in with the mindset of just have fun really set me up for success with having a great day during the first show. The difference for the second show, I was definitely nervous because I felt like I didn't um I was just nervous with more of the side pose transitions and thought so much about it, but I still had a really great time, and my coach was there for that show, which was super awesome having him there, and having him backstage. And another one of our team nonstop coaches was there too, and also one of my teammates competed there as well, so it was nice having another teammate and my coach present with me to help reel me in and not be as nervous, and also hearing him out in the crowd to help me nail the poses a little bit more. Because for my first show, my husband, my coach, and I like had discussed like certain call outs my husband would make to me to make sure I was nailing my poses there. And don't get me wrong, like my husband was super helpful for that, but like hearing my coach there too and making sure that I was making those necessary adjustments because he's also my posing coach too. It was definitely helpful for the second show where I felt a little bit more shaky on poses there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know like the poses is really important, especially like in figure,
Hmm.
about the poses, it's like why you on stage, because I
Hmm.
know that people had told me that, just staying in one pose is really tough. It's not easy. You gotta do
Yeah.
breathing and all this type of stuff. And I'm just a spectator. I just be looking, but I'm
Hmm.
not in that realm to be like, I know what I'm talking about, but
Yeah.
from what people was telling me. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. When it comes to posing, especially like under the stage lights, it's definitely different from being in like a gym posing room because you're like adding on, I mean, it feels like an extra 20 degrees under those stage lights. And sometimes you can be up there for 5 minutes nailing those poses, moving around so every judge can get the proper judgment that they need for the scoring system. But like if you're not practicing posing for at least like 5 minutes, especially like I got accustomed to doing my posing after cardio for the conditioning of making sure like the between the breathing and the making sure you're keeping all the muscles engaged for each pose is it's really important. And if you're not practicing and you get under those lights and you're not conditioned to do the posing, you're not going to nail the posing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we got I guess all of age George Page, and he says good evening, people. Good
Good
evening.
evening.
And
Good evening.
he's also says he wrote a lot. It was in the mid 80s here in North Carolina. Yeah, he's talking about the weather. Then he also talks about you and your husband, the couple trains together, stay together.
That's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. I mean, and then he got a question. What was your main reason to compete as a natural bodybuilder?
I was between both like NPC and OCB, but I plan to stay natural throughout everything. I just I really like the OCB because of the system. Like if you do go pro, there is drug testing there to make sure that everyone is natural in the federation, and that was something that was really important to me. But I really like the OCB Federation, but I am also up in the air of looking into some of the NPC natural bodybuilding shows. I've been watching a lot of the competitions that have been happening this year, and some of my teammates who have been through NPC that's been raising my interest a little bit more there. But I also um doesn't mean I won't necessarily compete in like a non-natural show against competitors who might lean that way. It's just I like to stay in the natural categories because I'm a natural athlete.
Yeah. Like, is for you, is there a difference with the NPC and the OCB?
I mean, the poses are different a little bit there that when it comes to side pose. And I think there's also an extra back pose in NPC. I could be wrong there, but it's not too different from the OCB, I believe, but I
Yeah.
know the system to getting the IFBB Pro card is definitely a little bit different than the OCB, but I'm unsure of the differences there.
Yeah. I've been to a couple of shows. Been to the Double Down and the Big Apple,
Hmm.
yeah. So yeah, I mean I mean I think the OCB it's more friendly.
Hmm.
Like they seem like they care.
Hmm.
I've been to one NPC show. I've been to the Mr. Universe.
Hmm.
They had wellness, fit model, and bikini and stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah. Like what you like it is figure like the best one for you like as a division, or would you want to
I
like go up to the other one?
I do personally love figure. I don't know if I'd ever step into another division. I've like thought about wellness, but truthfully, like I don't feel like the amount of leg days that the wellness girls do. And I mean, I have two leg days and a posterior day on my plan right now, and having
Right.
that extra like posterior day thrown in, because I used to only have two leg days where one was quad focus, the other is hamstring focus. I still have the quad focus and the hamstring focus, but my posterior day is like that additional hamstring day. And oh my God, I couldn't imagine like a fourth day just running glutes, straight glutes, like 3 days a week for wellness. Because I know those
Yeah.
wellness girls do a lot of lower body.
Yeah. Like, is there like any person that you're familiar with in bodybuilding? Like you see somebody like, wow, like almost like an inspiration or something like that. I know bodybuilding is different. It ain't
Hmm.
like somebody playing basketball, they watching Michael Jordan like, shoot a hoop,
Hmm.
or you know, or what's his name, LeBron James dunking the ball or something like
Hmm.
that. I know bodybuilding is something else. But do you pay attention to some of the competitors, whether it's OCB or IFBB?
I do watch quite a few IFBB competitors and pros. Like there's this one IFBB pro, her name's Charlotte. She's um uh influencer. I know she works with the Axe and Sledge team, and I've watched a lot of her videos when it comes to like meal prep hacks and
Yeah.
getting creative when it comes to prep, um with like, I don't know, like whey drip protein mix with your cream of rice, and just trying to get a little bit creative with the food, especially when it gets a, I don't want to call it boring, because like I don't like to look at my food as boring. I like to look at it as fueling when it comes to my workouts. But she's definitely been one inspiration. I really like her shape in just her overall mindset when it comes to bodybuilding. And then also, like, when it comes to inspiration, it's truly like my teammates. I'm still very new to the team, and I'm also very introverted, but we all have a team nonstop group chat, and I'm not really active in it, but I very much pay attention to it, and listening to um like watching my teammates succeed, and also hearing the struggles, and like knowing I'm not alone when it comes to the tough days in prep, and knowing there's other people that you could almost like lean on and talk to about it, because they're going through the same thing too. But also, like, they very much, they're just all such inspirational people, and um the it's just so different. Like Team Nonstop's just so different. And um another competitor that I really like, she's an Olympian. I want to say her, I can't, the pronunciation, I believe it's Rhea. She's an Olympian, figure competitor, and she's a beast. She's someone that I love her shape, and I've been watching her preps for the last year. And I'm excited to see her build up this year as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of I would say women, competing in bodybuilding. I'd be like also on TikTok earlier, I was seeing they're like a lot of young women, they're like having like these videos of like beginning their bodybuilding, like with prep and all that type of
Mhm.
stuff, and just starting out, you know.
Mhm.
Like there's one young lady, she she was already a trainer, and she didn't have a coach. She was like her own coach for her show and
Hmm.
stuff like that. Yes. Yeah. Like would you, yeah, I know you also like a NASM trainer.
Yeah, I do have my NASM personal trainer certificate. I'll be honest, like since I've moved to New Jersey, I really haven't
Yeah.
been focusing on it, and I've been really more focusing on my own training, but I do like want to try to get back into it and build a clientele, but it's tough with my current work schedule and my own bodybuilding schedule right now.
Yeah.
So but yeah.
Yeah. Now you do like what you work as the cannabis industry?
I do work in the cannabis industry.
Oh, okay.
I'm a purchasing manager for three retails up in
Yeah.
Massachusetts, and then we have a facility down here in New Jersey.
Oh, okay. Do you smoke or?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, there's some bodybuilders I know they do they do like they do smoke cannabis a bit for
yeah.
the for relaxation and stuff preference. Yeah. Like so you what like you do like retails and I don't think I could say what you were saying, but
No,
I
it's
know it's something
okay.
about retail, yeah, retail or something like that. That yeah, like how long you been doing it?
So I've been in cannabis for, oh man, September of, oh, I think I'm almost like 5 years into the cannabis industry now. I feel
Mm,
like in the cannabis industry, it's kind of like dog years, like 1 year is equivalent to seven because of just how quick the industry moves and how you have to adapt and learn very quickly. But I started off as a customer sales associate. We call them bud tenders in the cannabis world. So I used to work in the retail store with the company that I'm currently with, and just helped customers pick out what they needed, ran the transaction, and then 6 months in, I moved into the purchasing manager role. So I buy all the goods with that are sold within the retail store, and then we have our own in-house brands, but we don't have our own grow facility. So I source material from other grow facilities within the state of Massachusetts and within the state of New Jersey. And in Massachusetts and New Jersey, we have our own packaging facilities where we package for our retail stores and sell the product that I brought into the facility at the retail stores. And then we also wholesale out our Buds products to other retailers in the state of Massachusetts. And then in New Jersey, we don't have our own retail yet. We're working on that, but we wholesale out our goods down here in New Jersey.
do you have any retails in New York or?
Not yet, not yet. Maybe one day. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know if we plan to get into
Mhm.
the New York space. It's definitely a different type of regulatory system
Yeah.
in New York. It's very different from,
Tell you
I
the
feel
truth,
like,
New
the rest
York
of the
don't really need
markets.
it.
Yeah.
We don't really need it. Nah, we
Yeah.
don't need it because they already got spots before.
Yeah.
Like I think it been like like some years now it been legal and
Hmm.
stuff. Yeah, only experience I got when it wasn't legal. You
Yeah.
know, and you would just buy it from people and. You know, I remember this kid on one time he influenced me a little bit to smoke, and you know
Hmm.
I was kind of acting up a little bit, and after a while I mean the thing was it did relax you, that was the thing,
Hmm.
and I needed that relaxation, but
Hmm.
sometimes I don't know, like if you're not really used to it you start acting up and
Yeah.
yeah, you start like they repeating the same thing over and over again. And then,
Yeah.
you know, I was hearing certain things about like, you know, it's medicinal, but you know, it do like mess up your brain cells a bit, you know,
Hmm.
if you just like constantly smoking it. And especially these young kids, like they just do it like often, like drinking water and stuff. I remember I
Mhm.
used to work in McDonald's, and I used to fight with the kids there because they would always want to smoke in the
Mhm.
restaurant and stuff, and they would just be acting up to a point, you just had to leave them alone. There would be like smoke buds everywhere. It wasn't even just them, but it's like an effect sometimes where people misuse
Mhm.
this drug. It's supposed to be medicinal, but they taking it to another level. But I guess I don't know. That's everything, right?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely don't recommend like kids smoking cannabis. I didn't really start getting into it until I was in college. And even then, like, I didn't become like a big smoker until like 21. I'm not a big
Mm,
drinker or a big partier, but I use cannabis definitely more medicinally than
yeah,
recreationally. But there's definitely, don't get me wrong, there are people who do misuse and can act a fool off of the cannabis, but I don't know, I definitely use it more medicinally and I utilize it for recovery with training. But I definitely like have really cut back on actual smoking and really utilize more of edibles in tinctures and topicals too that really help with recovery and just like some days when you're on the Stairmaster for an hour long, the topical with the THC and the CBD combination in there can go a long way with soothing a muscle. But I've definitely seen people act up that don't know how to consume responsibly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. For like what? So when you was on your prep, or for like preparing for your show, was you using
Mhm.
it to just like relax, or to focus?
Yeah, so truthfully, like before every workout session, I do consume and it really does help me focus a lot more during my training sessions, especially when it comes to lifting. I feel like I think a lot more on mind muscle connection. Um, and then when it comes to like the cardio aspect, I have figured out how to just like switch my brain off and just
Mm,
keep pushing through because sometimes like I feel like when it comes to cardio, the first 10 minutes are really hard trying to lock in, but on the days that I do consume, like I don't even think about it. I just lock in and it's done and over with and it goes by a lot faster. Um and then when it comes to like outside of the gym, it really helps me sleep. I have wicked bad insomnia. I've actually been dealing with quite a bit of an insomnia spell the last month where I'm not averaging as much sleep as I should. But there's a lot of cannabinoids that can help you with sleep. Like there's this one cannabinoid that's called CBN. I call it CB night night because it helps your brain turn off and also helps you stay asleep. I've also utilized like melatonin in the past, but back when I was in college, I took a lot of melatonin, and that's when my
right.
insomnia spells really started. And
Yeah.
taking melatonin frequently really isn't great for your brain because then it elevates your melatonin needs in your body, and it can be I'm like pretty positive melatonin's the main reason why I have insomnia to this day, so I try to
Yeah.
stay away from it, but CBN in edibles have really, really helped when it does come to battling the insomnia.
Yeah, that's a bit off my I, out my range.
No
So
worries.
when you said metatomian, I'm like, I never, the edible part, like all I know is like the brownies. They put weed in the brownies
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I know. That's all. Like what kind of edibles like you talking about?
So like
Um.
just like a gummy, like think like a
Oh.
Welch's
Okay.
fruit
Oh, I
snack
got
type
you.
vibe thing.
I
I
got you.
definitely stay away from like the baked goods type
Yeah.
edibles, but
Yeah.
there are quite a few companies that have come out with like low sugar, low carb type edibles. So I very much seek those types of edibles out. So it's not anything that's going to really swing off my plan that's like 20 additional carbs or 20 additional grams of sugar
Mm.
um, thrown into the day because you don't want that when you're on prep.
Yeah. Let me read this guy. He been here with us. Wellness is a division for women with a dominant lower half. Yeah, I mean, there's some with wellness competitors. They don't look too bad, even the upper half, they might not be
Mm-hmm.
bulky too big, but I think I know the calves is really big and the legs are got to be big,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, this is one wellness pro I know. Her name is Lily Dong. She just sticks in my mind because she's Chinese and stuff. And I was like learning the Chinese language, so that's why she just stuck in my head. But yeah, there's mostly like women from like South America and Brazil. I mean, same thing, but
Mm.
joy times. Yeah, I think he was answering your question when you talked about
Yeah, Rhea Gale,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Then he got this joke, puff puff pass. Yeah, you ever watch Friday?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's a real classic.
Oh yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, yeah. Like so as a trainer, like what like you teach your clients, like mostly like healthy eating or
So I didn't really focus too much on the nutritional aspect. I do have access to take the nutritional course, but I mean, I've truly like the main person that I feel like I train is my husband. To be honest, like I've built out quite a bit of his meal plan and quite a bit of his training plan and have made recommendations for him. But for the most part, when it comes to training actual clients, I had worked with one of my friends, Jamie, who wanted to get into fitness and helped her out and met with her. I want to say like 3 times a week we would meet up together at Planet Fitness at 5 o'clock in the morning and just work out together. And then I've had a few other people up in Massachusetts where I would do the same thing as well. But I look at it more as working out together. And the main reason why I had gone through the NASM course was more for myself in learning when it came to proper training and education on that aspect and wanting to learn more about nutrition. And maybe eventually I'll take the test for the nutrition course to get the nutrition certificate. But um when the time comes that I'm ready to start building a clientele again, it will definitely be more focused on actual training for oneself and probably having to focus it being a little bit more online just because of my schedule. But one of the things that I want to do more research on and focus on is training for clients that might have hypermobility. I'm extremely double jointed. And one of the things that I've realized throughout my fitness journey is one of the ways that someone might do a movement might not work for me. I might not get the same stretch just because my mobility is just so hyper extensive compared to someone else that I might need to get an extra stretch to actually feel it or tweak something a little bit to make sure that I'm engaging properly. So that's definitely one aspect that I want to really focus in on when I get back into training.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Like what do you what do you do for your training? Like even when you was like preparing for your show. Like I know you said you was working on cardio. Like what kind of
Mhm.
cardio you were doing?
So for the most part, I bounce between, or well, actually, right now, I'm bouncing between the Stairmaster and elliptical. I've mainly been doing Stairmaster just because it's the quickest, and also, yeah, mainly just because it's the quickest. I feel like I get the best sweat on it, and like really exert myself there. But on the days that like I notice my body is really sore, or if typically like on my last day of training where I have hamstring, where I'm focusing on hamstring and core, I'll do the elliptical just because it's a little bit more low impact. But when I did my first prep, I mainly did elliptical and I was also running. Like when I tell you I was running almost 7 miles a day and it just took forever to burn my cardio because my cardio is calorie focused rather than time focused, and I track my calories on my Apple Watch. And when I had first gotten into fitness, I actually like started off with doing running as my cardio, and I think I ran like a 3K at least twice a week on the treadmill. And because of where my cardio fitness was already at, my heart rate doesn't get as high during cardio. So it takes a little bit longer to get it done whenever I'm running or doing the elliptical. But when I do the Stairmaster, it stays high enough where the calories burn like I could burn 100 calories in like 12 to 15 minutes versus 15 to 20 minutes on the elliptical. So stairs it is on the days that I want to get it done quick.
Only stairs I do I just like in my building. That's it, really. I mean, I've done cardio, like run around the park, but I like in the gym. I never did the gym.
Mm,
Just like outside. Just if I wanted to work on a cardio, it was mostly like run around the park, because
mhm,
this is park where I live at. You could go, you could run around the park, or like there's like a section where they had stairs, and I would just go
mm,
back and forth, and that was like the type of cardio I would do. Really, I didn't really have money to go to the gym a lot of times. If you did, you probably owing the gym money, because I had a
mm,
friend that he was going to the gym, but it was like to a point where it kind of it accumulated to
mhm,
he owed him a lot of money.
mm,
So yeah, you had to be careful about like using the equipment and stuff. I think one time I was going to take my father to one of the to see the trainer, because he needed some physical therapy, but it didn't work out. So, but then I had to pay them. They claimed I had to pay the money, and I'm like, I didn't do anything yet. So, like,
oh
Mama,
man.
why you trying to swindle me to make some payments? We didn't start anything. So,
Mm.
but it is what it is. Man. What do you feel is important in your bodybuilding process?
I feel like the most important thing is making sure you're in the right mindset and understanding your why. of why you're going through that prep, and also if you have a coach, being open and honest at all points of prep, especially if you're really like having a difficult time or having that self-doubt, because sometimes like throughout prep it can feel a little lonely, but it doesn't have to be lonely. And one of the things that I wish I did during my initial prep was lean on my coach a little bit more during the dark days. But I really think the most important aspect is understanding your why and why you are going through prep, why you made that decision, and keeping that focus on your why. Because some days are really hard where like you're just so tired you don't want to get out of bed. You're so tired, the motivation is low to go do the cardio. You might be a little bit sick of the food. You might just be so agitated, just have such brain fog. But understanding that why and keeping the discipline and consistency to keep pushing is my why for myself. But definitely just overall realizing your why to keep yourself pushing throughout those hard days.
Did you see it as a sport? Like, it's like the way you even like explaining it. It's more of a discipline than a sport. You know, people call it a sport because I guess the posing and the posing and stuff, and
Yeah,
probably the
I
placement. Now, go
I
ahead. I'm sorry.
oh no, you're good. I do look at it as being a sport because it is a competition at the end of the day. And like uh, someone had asked me this question before too, and like we were going back and forth on it a little bit, but like I do feel like it's a sport because it's a competition, but also to like you you might be on like a bodybuilding team where you have like we often have like a team workout and everything. And I look at like weightlifting as a sport, but yes, it is also a discipline and a consistency, because if you're not consistent with it, like if you're not consistent with your cardio, if you're not consistent with your training plan, if you're not consistent with your meal plan, you're not gonna be you may not be successful at the sport, or may have an unrealistic expectation of the actual competitiveness behind it. But also too, like for some people it might be like a one and done type of thing. Like I want to compete in a bodybuilding show, but I only foresee myself competing in it one time.
Yeah, a lot of
And
people do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it, like in that situation where they're picking it up for just to do it one time, one and done, maybe then I might not consider it a sport. But they still had that discipline and consistency to go through it, and they still went out and competed. So like overall I look at it as being a sport in that aspect. But it's definitely like at the end of the day on that stage, it's you versus whoever else is up on that stage. It's not a group of people versus another group of people. Like it's you versus XYZ, to see who comes out in top placement at the end of the day.
In your shows, what is
Hmm.
somebody that that you was like impressed with their physique, or you was just so focused on yourself, or it was fuck them, I'm just
No,
focused. This is me.
no. No, so honestly, like when I did my debut, and I can't remember her name, but
Yeah.
she was a beast. Like she could honestly probably like also do physique. Like she was just so cut, and I was like, oh man, like, and I was a little nervous, but I try when I'm backstage and when um when I'm also like in prep and online looking at other people going through prep, I try my hardest not to compare myself to other people, but
Yeah.
I do also like I don't like comparing, but I love looking and seeing other people's physiques and watching other people build their physique throughout their prep. And one of the woman who came in first place at the WNBF show, I was really impressed with her upper build. And there some of the people in the open category for the OCB show I did had really impressive physiques. And there's this one girl, Carlin, like her legs and upper body, like her overall physique is phenomenal. And like I know I believe she's in an off season building season right now, but I'm wicked excited to see her growth phase and watch her build over the next year and watch her go through prep when her next prep comes up. So I do love watching, but I try not to compare.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. I can't do Stairmaster. My niece will divorce me. Niece
I feel like
crazy.
that towards the end of the week.
And then he also says motivation changes from one day to another. Discipline and consistency will keep you going.
Discipline and consistency are key.
No, I mean I don't know. I think it's both the same. Because you kind of got to picture yourself doing it. I could be wrong, but I kind of just just because I know how I was when working out. I had to
Hmm.
picture certain things, just doing
Hmm.
certain things I wanted to do. But I don't know. I don't do bodybuilding, so that. Yeah, I mean it's not very easy for like the average person to understand or want to do it. There's people that can do it. There's people that can't. So I take my hat off to you.
Thank you.
So, yeah,
It can be
yeah,
tough.
yeah. I mean, like with your husband, like yeah, that's good that he's supportive of you. So that's pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
like.
definitely lucky.
Yeah, like how far do you see yourself competing? Like, well, I don't know. You just started. I can't really ask you that question, so
Yeah,
it's
I
not
mean,
fair.
I definitely like this year. I want to do a few shows. I'm really aiming to do the OCB Hall of Fame in June, and that shows up in Massachusetts. I like to try to do a show up in Mass, so my family can all have the chance to get up there. But when it comes to figure and also for the OCB specifically, there's not as many pro shows compared to amateur shows. So like you definitely like have to plan accordingly there. But I've looked at like ANBF, the WNBF has a few shows. There's a few NPC shows that I could do on the amateur side and like give that
Yeah,
a shot. But definitely for the OCB this year, it's Hall of Fame. And since I got my pro card last year, I do qualify for the Yorton Cup this year. So I definitely want to do Yorton for the experience. Definitely no
yeah,
expectations when it
yeah,
comes to that show. But because I qualified, why wouldn't I go for the experience and see the competition that's out there to build, because I think 2027 will definitely be a building year when it comes to my physique and having a off season to put on some good muscle and get after it maybe end of 2027 early 2028 for another prep. So I foresee myself doing it for quite some time. I don't see an end in sight yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. Like I've been watching the Yorton Cup for a couple of years. Yeah, I know. Like with the figure, they have like different classes: A, B,
Hmm.
C, D, and yeah. So yeah, that'd probably be a challenge for you. You think so?
Oh, you're in. I think so. I feel like, don't get me wrong, like the way that I came out in my first show and my second show, I was very happy with my physique, but it will also be my pro debut. I know there's people that definitely have a lot more muscle than me, and one of the things that I definitely need to work on is a better flow with my transitions when it comes to posing. I still kind of feel like a deer in headlights in my heels every now and then. But at the end of the day, for me, like it's all about having fun, going out there for the experience, um, hoping for the best, but not having any expectations of coming out on top. It's definitely all love of the game for me at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah. They got some pretty talented athletes.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't want to take you hostage. I mean, but I do got like a question, like what would be your advice for somebody that's starting out that in bodybuilding?
For someone that is starting out in bodybuilding, hmm, listen to your coach, be open and honest with your coach, lean on your coach on the tough days, and on the days that you are deep in prep, especially when you feel the crash out coming on because your brain fog is just so bad. Step back, take a breath, utilize a journal to scream it out instead of screaming at someone else, and like letting out the agitation that comes when you're in the peak of prep. That's definitely one thing that I wish I was better with during my first prep, but also remember your why and just keep pushing.
Okay. Then by any chance you flipped out on your husband that time?
Oh my God, I feel so bad
Yeah,
some days.
I ain't gonna go there, but but I wish you the best,
Thank
on
you.
your next show. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. So I'm gonna let you go. All right.
Sweet. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
All right.
Have a good
No
night.
doubt. You too.